I'm going to open it up to you guys first to start asking some questions. In and around today's topic is around sales and acquisitions, and that side of it. So we're going to start there and then go from that point. But does anybody have anything specific that they'd like to get into out of the gate?
Had a question about your post today about that doesn't have to do with sales and acquisitions, so forget it.
I could not hear you at all, Jen. Sorry.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now, but it was really soft before.
I had a question about your post asking for podcasters or with groups for marketing, but that doesn't have to do with sales and acquisitions, so forget it.
Yeah, we'll loop back to that.
Okay, thanks.
But Chris, John, Sal, anybody, anything on this topic? If not, we'll call it a day, because I'm not going to just sit here just to be on a call, just to be on a call.
Well, we went out and made an offer on a house yesterday with a client we were pushing. Husband passed away 2 months ago, and she's in distress and all that stuff. And I don't know if there's any answer to this, but we made a reasonable offer, but it wasn't reasonable to her because she had an unreasonable number. We framed everything the right way, framed why we offered it the way we did. But she called us back today and said she was going a different way, a different route with the house. So we gave her a final offer. We upped our offer one more time, but we're going to try to find out what's going on, because she's been bombarded by, her husband just passed away 6 weeks ago, and she's gotten bombarded by investors already attacking her, with low ball offers. But and I'm just throwing that out. So, we're going to nurture her. We got to call going back to her in 2 weeks, and we left off on good terms, but it's one of these things where we get hammered every time we open a door.
What do you mean by you getting hammered?
Well, because the people are getting several offers. Now, what we learned over the past few weeks is that we have to bring more value to the offer. Okay, we have to bring more value to it. And that's probably something that we need to work on, is what other values can we bring? I mean, we do the usual stuff saying, as is, we'll pay for the closing fees. We even offered to pay for the survey if she didn't have one.
Okay, but define hammered.
She's gotten bombarded by 6 or 7 other investors that are coming up with all kinds of different ways to get her a deal. Okay. Now they're not coming in at a higher price, but like I said, I want to find out what that is, and I'm not sure how I'm going to do that.
So I'm still confused on what you mean by you're getting hammered.
Well, we're getting hammered because we're getting outbid or that, and that's us. We have to bring more value to we can only offer so much money because we have to mitigate risk. And, that's how we were trained, and we've gotten many other deals doing the process the same way. So we know the process works. It's the non-sales side where we have to bring value. And I think you guys were talking a little bit about this yesterday. What other value services can you bring that can finalize the deal?
I'm curious. Give me kind of the Cliff Notes version of the play-by-play of how did this lead come about, and basically from initial contact through making the offer. It was a Cliff Notes version of the process.
It was a referral from a family member, and that's something that we've realized, that we have a very large referral base that we actually just launched a referral text messaging campaign on LeadVault yesterday. We have about 60 names on it right now, which is pretty good. So this came from a referral. The husband passed away 6-8 weeks ago. She wants to sell and get out. The house is in need of major upgrades and other things, about $65,000 worth of repairs at a wholesale level for us. Property
So referral came in.
Yeah.
How did the referral come in?
came in through a friend of ours in the family.
Did they pick up the phone and call you? Did they send you a text message?
No,
Did they
it was
tell
by
that
word
person
of-
to call
It
you?
was another person called and said, hey, this person's in distress. We know that you're in this business. Can you give her a call? I said, well, okay. And it took about 2 or 3 weeks to get a hold of her, but we finally got a hold of her. I spent 40 minutes on the phone with her Saturday, because that was the first time I got a hold of her. Saturday morning, spent 40 minutes on the phone, and we did our usual empathetic process and going through, got all the information, empathize with her, tried to find out, exactly what it is that she needs and what she wants. And it was clear that she was distraught. She wanted out. She wanted the taxes paid. There were back taxes. There's a HOA loan lien on the property. She wanted out. She wanted to make it easy. So we had our hot buttons, so to speak, that we wanted to use in the presentation. I ran over there Saturday afternoon, did a site visit, ran around and did my inspection report, ran all the numbers, and yesterday morning, we met her to give her an offer, a fair offer. And we also offered to, with that price is to pay all the taxes, pay the HOA lien and all the other stuff. So that's the Cliff Notes.
Okay. Why did it take so long to get in touch with her? Was she avoiding you, or just you guys kept missing beats?
We just kept missing each other.
Okay. How was the phone call on Saturday received?
Very positive. We had some connections.
Right out of the gate, or did you have to kind of cool it off a little?
I had to cool it off a little bit and explain
Okay.
who I was, and I started asking her, your mom talked to one of my wife's friends. This is how I got the information. Here's what we do for a business. Here's how we've helped other people. I went through the whole thing, and I said, and if you're ready for some help, tell us what you need. That's kind of the approach we used.
Okay.
And
she was open to having you come out and take a look at the place.
Yeah, I mean, I spent 45 minutes. I mean, I got a lot of information before I even got out there.
Okay.
But it was open enough that 2 hours later, I was at the house, doing an inspection to get the data on what we needed to do to turn this thing around. And she could tell she was very skittish, because she stood there in the middle of the room with her hands put together. She might still be in mourning, obviously in mourning, and all this other stuff. And she just said, my husband would handle everything. And, I just don't understand all this. I said, well, if you work with us, this is what we do, and we'll help you. And because you know us, we're not going to hurt. We're not going to try to hurt you. We're going to, in terms of financially, so we're going to try to do the best thing we can for you. And we'll walk you through the steps. And I try to do a lot of education.
Okay.
And I've learned that from being
I mean, obviously you did a couple things right there because she was open to it. She was open to having you come out. She was open to meeting on Monday.
Right. Yeah.
That was all cordial and good. There was no
hostilities. But I kept saying to her, well, how much do you think you want for the house? She goes, well, I don't know, because she didn't know what the values of the houses in the neighborhood were. And she
presented the offer. How did that go?
I think she was surprised that it was well, I don't see. Here's the funny thing. She said she didn't know what she wanted, and yet I offered her something, and she said she thought it was too low. So there's something going on there that I wasn't aware of. And when I'm thinking back of how I did the process, I asked, I said, do you know what the values are? Do you know what the houses are? No, I don't know. And I didn't tell her because I didn't want to give her an ARV. Okay. But
why?
I don't know. Because I didn't want to tell her that the ARV for her house was, 240. And she was going to think, well, I can get 200 for the house, which she obviously can't. It was a ploy on my part to say, the house was here, This is what we're going to have. And I framed it. I said, you owe $8,000 in back taxes. You have an HOA lien of $1,500. We can take care of that with this pricing. This property is going to need about $60,000 to $65,000 in repairs to get it to market value so we can turn around and sell it. And said, so here's our offer. And I said, and again, like we talked about, we're a family run business. We're not looking to make a massive killing. We just want a small profit here. And this is what we want. This is what our offer was. And I think because of the friendship that we were building, I think she thinks that we were going to come up with a huge offer, and she was disappointed. So, we came back, we raised the deal a little bit. We threw a couple of things in, like we'll pay for the survey if you can't find it. We'll pay for the closing fees. She said, let me think about it. I want to talk to other people. So, and then she ghosted me the rest of yesterday and today. So
before I go into some stuff, I'm
Sure.
curious. John, Chris, Jen, I'll leave Marie alone because she just jumped in. What are your thoughts so far on this? Where do you think this went awry?
Well, I probably wouldn't have given how much it would have taken to fix the place up, getting specific into numbers like that, because I don't know, I just don't know if that's necessary right at this point or even at all.
Yeah, I did it to frame the
Hold on, Sal.
Okay, go
It's
ahead. I'm sorry.
It's not a right or wrong. I'm just
Yeah, no,
I'm curious
I know
what some
that.
others are thinking before I go and
Absolutely.
give you
I'm gonna
my
put myself
thoughts on
mute.
where I think this could have been a little better. Jen, you've got a lot of experience. What do you think?
I think I was just putting out a fire with my contractor, so my apologies. My phone was blowing up, sorry.
Okay,
I was not
John.
paying attention. Sorry.
I would just look at my numbers, and if they're there, I present the offer, and I think you've done a good job of doing all that. And then if she's going to shop it, she's going to shop it anyway. So you just got to keep the rapport and all that stuff.
Eileen, what do you think? Welcome to the call, by the way.
Well, I'll just throw in one thing before Eileen, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I always let people know, like, I'm going to be the easiest person that they deal with. I'm a mom and pop organization. I say that a lot, and that has kind of put me above others at times. And I say, anytime you call my number, you're going to talk to me directly. You're not a number to me. So that's actually helped us, and chosen over other people shopping it out as well. So my 2 cents, sorry.
No, you're fine. I would probably just say that maybe to give her some education of what is in the area. If she doesn't have any idea of what values are in the area, you just to show her more, show your cards a little more, to give her a little more comfort. And, my thing is, we tell them this is our business. We do have to make money off of it. We take risk and things like that. So, that's basically what I would do, is just try to help her feel at ease a little bit on exactly, what's in the area, what she may be able to get.
So Sal, here's my take. Some good stuff in there. If I was sitting down with her, and my first set of questions out of the gate, I'm getting ready to present the offer, and I'm like, hey John, glad to see you today. Got some stuff for you. Want to get going into this. Before we get too deep into it, is there a number that you're kind of hoping for? Is there a number that you kind of expect? Is there a number that you think this home is worth, right? Obviously you asked something like that, and her answer was, I don't really know. I immediately want to go into education mode at that point, because 90% of other investors aren't. I immediately want to go into, all right, John, let's stop for a second then, and let's go ahead and take a look at the market. Let's go ahead and take a look at what a property like yours is selling for on the MLS. And this is where the comps come into play. This is how I've identified what the value of this house will be after I put in the work and all the stress that I'm going to take off of you. And I'm going to try to get her to align and agree with what my ARV is showing based on comps. And I've always loved having photos of those comps available to be able to show, hey, is this home worth 250,000? Not today, but does it have the potential of being 250, 350, 850, million two, whatever it might be, right? 100% it does when it looks like these ones here. Because this is what's trading, this is what's moving. Now, to get it to that level, here's what I feel like in our experience needs to happen. And if you could do that work, and if you want to take on that stress and the headaches of getting all that aligned, 100%, be able to put it in, do that, and probably get to that 250, whatever the number was, right? I always like roping them in and getting them aligned with me and agreeing that, yes, it's going to take a lot of work to get to that higher number. Now, Sal, do you have to say the exact ARV that you would? No, that's why you've got comps. You kind of blend it with what you know it is, but it's a little maybe a little conservative in there. You might be able to get a little bit more kind of thing, right? But I want to get her on my side. But here's why I also go into that education mode, because a lot of other investors are just throwing out sight unseen, maybe offers at her. They're throwing other creative ways of trying to get something, right? And you've been leading up to this whole thing, the 45 minutes on the phone call, the time that you were at the house, that, hey, we're different. We're a mom and pop. We're here to help you. I really want to make sure that you kind of align. And this ties back to those that were on the call yesterday. This kind of ties back to some of the stuff that I was kind of dropping yesterday, that if you had other ways of helping homeowners other than just buying their house, right? It sets this up because it's like, if you want to go about that route, we absolutely can help you through that process. And we can discuss that if that's the direction you want to go. But I got to get her to agree with me first because she's clueless. So
Right.
Any number I throw out is when they're clueless is going to trigger the hold on a minute, let me think about that. Hold on a second, let me go shop this. Let me see what some others might say, because she's clueless, right? Nobody wants to take the first offer they get when they're clueless, because the grass is greener on the other side in their mind. Well, what if somebody else will give me more? I don't know what it's really worth. I don't know if Sal's number's good or not good. But if I go into education mode first and say, hey, hold on a second, let's go ahead and take a look at the market. Let's look at the data. Let's look at how I do this. And I used to pin pin all of this against my lending sources. Now, I'd come out and tell her, it's not like I have all of this cash sitting in my pocket. We actually work with other individuals that invest with us, that bring money in to help us be able to move really quick. They bring their cash, and I have to have this type of data in place for them to feel safe, and they're feeling safe at these numbers. This way it kind of takes the pressure off of me, right? And it pushes over there. I used to use my lenders like that all the time, even with my contractors. But I got to get her to agree with me first that the value of the house is that value if it looks just like all the other homes that have been selling at that price point, and get her to agree that her house does not look like that and that it's going to require work, right? Once we're on agreement, now I can take a step back and, Sal, what was her name? Just so
Kim.
Kim?
Yeah.
So now I can take a step back and go, Kim, now you kind of better understand what the market's looking like and what it's going to take to get your house to that type of level. Now, there's some other things that also have to come into play. And you did a good job, Sal, of getting some due diligence and finding out, oh, there's back taxes, there's this, there's that, right? So before I even throw a number out, I'd want to go into part of our offer, Kim, is taking into consideration, we're going to go ahead and take the burden and cover the back taxes that is X number of thousands, whatever it was. Let's say it's 8,000. We're going to take part of our offer includes us also paying off the $8,000 in back taxes so that you don't have that looming over top of you. It involves us doing X Y, Z, whatever else, right? Is part of there. Maybe it also includes helping you move out. It includes us taking care of anything you don't want to move with you, that you can just leave there. I want to hit all the perks, all the benefits, and amp those up a little bit. So that now she's agreeing house is worth this if she can do that kind of work. But she's also starting to realize I also have to do all these other things that Sal and Chris are willing to take onto their plate. So that by the time I finally bring out my offer, it's not so much a shock. Does that make sense so far, Sal?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what you're saying, for the majority, I think we did that. I think the only thing we missed, because I was hesitant, was to tell her what the value of that house is in perfect condition. Okay, that I didn't do, because I was fearful that, knowing that she was a little bit naive with the market, that she would have thought that's what the house was worth. So, but I understand where you're going, that it needs to be framed in the right way. I mean, we did all that other stuff. We talked about, we had the pictures. I had it on a Google Drive. I turned on my laptop. We were sitting outside at a Starbucks. I said, see this bathroom? This is going to have to be replaced. This kitchen's going to have to be replaced. The floor, the roof, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And we did all that. I said, that's all going to amount to this amount. So, but I didn't make it as nice a picture as you did. So I think that might have helped.
That helps soften remember,
Yeah.
It's sticker shock is what she
Yeah.
went into,
Yeah.
right? We go to a car lot, we fall in love with a vehicle, doesn't have any paperwork in the window, test drive it. We absolutely love it. We want this thing. Salesman comes back and goes, here, Sal, here's the price of the truck. Here's how much your monthly payments are. Here's what your interest rate is. And you're like, whoa, hold on a second. Wasn't expecting that, right? It's sticker shock.
Yeah.
Is all it is.
And for someone that's just lost their spouse and she's trying to pack things up, I can understand. We were very sympathetic and we didn't push her at all. But, I think I even asked her Monday morning, I said, is there anyone else that needs to make this decision with you? Can you bring them with you? Okay, because I said, I'm going to have a contract ready. So if we agree, we can sign it, we can get the thing rolling. But she just, she backed out by saying, I need to talk to some of my friends and, find out. I said, well, what kind of friends? Are they lawyers? Are they realtors? Because I was trying to get a sense of where she was coming. I really don't think she knew. I think she's, I think there's a lot of shock still there. So there's,
I think there's another question that you might have been able to ask that might have gotten some stuff out. And that's when she said, I want to think about this.
yeah.
Or your words were, she told you, I want to see what others will do, or I want to shop this around. The second that comes out, it doesn't matter what I'm selling. I always go to, hey, Sal, tell me this. What would it take for you to not shop it out?
I got a funny feeling if I said that, she would say, I don't know.
And that's fine. Let me start to pull that onion apart now.
Yeah.
Well, what is it, Sal, that makes you feel like you need to shop this out? What is it? What do you need to feel like you don't need to shop this out?
I mean, we went through the whole thing of saying, trying to pay back the taxes and trying to do all. I said, you're not going to have to worry about that. We will take care of that for you. And it'll be less stress on you, and you can move forward with what you have to do. Uh-oh.
You know what I'm doing.
He's not tying his shoe. He's showing us something.
I know, but while he's showing you that, I want to say, I'm not sure the first part, but if you're still in the game, Sal, if it's not
yeah.
sold and gone, you're still in the game.
Oh, no, I think we're still in the game because
Yeah.
she came back today. The second part of this, Sean, was that she came back and she said, well, I offered the house. The reason why it took so long is because she said, I offered it to my son to buy at 120 because I figured that's all he could afford. Well, I said, how do you know that that's the right price? And that's what I said to her. So we came back this morning after she said she was going to go somewhere else. I said, tell you what, we'll take 120 and we'll take care of the taxes and all that so that you're doing the same thing. And she just decided she wanted to go somewhere else. But I agree. We're not out of the game. This is just phase one. I don't give up that easy.
That's awesome. But this is one of my favorite things. This changed my life when Sean showed us this. So this is good.
Okay.
So Sal, this is why I say when that kind of question comes out, or that kind of
Mhm.
statement comes out, hey, I want to think about it. Hey, I want to go talk to somebody else. Hey, I I want to shop it around. Hey, I want to, whatever, sleep on that. I've had weird things been thrown at me before. Hey, I want to, stand on one foot and freaking yoga around this and see if I'm making the right decision. This is where the majority of people in sales positions or sales moments end up in the wrong spot of this diagram. Which one do you think I mean, Sal? Which one would be the wrong person to be in this diagram in that moment?
Well, the one that needs help.
This one right here. When somebody throws the objection, which that's all hey, I want to think about it. Hey, I
Mhm.
want to sleep on this. Hey, I want to talk to so-and-so. It's an objection. It's
Right.
it's a shield that we're throwing up to try to back away from making a decision in this moment, right?
Yep, absolutely.
And the second that comes out, this is where too many, especially real estate investors, we end in begging mode,
Mhm.
right? We're the ones over here screaming, help me. Help me. I need the deal. Help me. I need to make this happen. Help me. I'm nervous that you're going to leave from me and somebody else is going to get this thing. And it stinks
Yeah, it does.
when we go to that piece. When you start backpedaling, when somebody throws something like that out and you immediately backpedal and try to re-emphasize, but we're going to do this.
It's overselling. Yeah.
We're going to do this
Yeah.
and we're going to do this. It's us begging at that
Yeah,
point.
it's
right?
overselling and it doesn't do any good. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Whereas what we really want is we want to be over here in a position of posture, in a position of control,
Mhm.
in a position of the one asking a lot of questions. Even where you're at right now in this moment, right? She's kind of ghosted you. If you suffocate her by trying to
Yeah.
follow up way too
Yeah.
much, way too fast over the next day, 2 days, 3 days,
Well, that's me begging.
you're over here.
Yeah, no, that's what we did. I sent her a final offer and I said, whichever way you go, we wish you the best. I hope it all works out. We'll be in touch with you later on. And I left it at that.
Instead of we'll be in touch, it's we're here when you're ready.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's a good point.
We'll be in touch it's still me kind of begging in a way. It's still me
Mhm.
like, I'll keep yelling for you. And I'll see if you're over there ready to help me. Right.
Right.
The other way of when you're ready, let us know.
Mhm. Well, I think that's our mental aspect. It didn't come out in the writing, but I think mentally, Chris and I are just like, okay, let her do what she's got to do. And she knows we're here. We'll just make sure she knows that we're still here. That's all.
This is why I was saying when that objection comes out, let me think about it, let me sleep on it, whatever the case. I immediately want to go into question mode. I'm not going into interrogation mode.
Right.
I'm going into question mode to try to uncover what's going on. And chances are she would have come back with, it's the price. The price isn't
Mhm.
what I thought.
Mhm. Yep.
But in reality, the price isn't what I thought is the easy answer. And you have to know, you got to understand how to go deeper
Mhm.
than just the price. And a line that I love throwing out when it comes back to price is, all right, Kim, let's just say for a second, price didn't matter. I can get to a number that you're happy with. Are you ready to do a deal today?
Mhm. Right.
And the answer to that question, because I'm taking the price off the table, I'm getting rid of it. It's like I'm taking your objection, I'm putting it in a box, I'm shoving it back here behind me for a second. We're not even going to look at it. We're not going to think about it. Price doesn't matter anymore. Let's just say, Sal, I can get to the exact number that you want.
Mhm.
If I can get there, is there anything else that would keep you from saying, yes, Sean, let's go ahead and move forward and let me start helping you today? And whatever comes out of their mouth next is the true objection.
Mhm. We had a similar conversation with her I had when I was at her house. I said, Kim, let's say we come up with a number that's mutually agreeable. What do you need the money for? What are you looking to do with it? I mean, I was just trying to find out. I was asking a lot of what do you need this for? And, she did the typical answer and all that stuff. I honestly, if thinking back now on what we're talking about, given the circumstance that her spouse had just passed away at the beginning of January, we might have moved too fast on this. We might have had to slow. We didn't do a lot of nurturing. We did 45 minutes of nurturing. Okay.
She was willing though. She willingly took your phone call and spent 45 minutes. She willingly had you come out to the house. She willingly met you a couple of days later. I don't think it has too much to do with moving too fast.
Yeah, but if I've dated if I was in a dating mode and I had 45-minute conversation with somebody and she was ready, the next morning wouldn't be very pretty. Okay. So, I mean, I think the nurturing aspect probably needed to take a little longer, and us not being so fast with this. So we might have gotten more information. Maybe she would have had more information. So, and that's maybe
It's hard to
what's going
say
on right now.
It's
Yeah.
hard to say because it got
Yeah.
ended with, let me think on this.
Yeah. Yeah. And when I asked her, what do you need?
We can't go back and fix this one. I'm using it as a training piece.
No,
for the
it's
future,
excellent.
right?
It's excellent. When she said, let me think about it, I said, what do you mean? Because that's usually what I respond with. And she just said, well, I want to talk to some friends. And then we got into this other conversation. I said, just be careful, because there's a lot of people that will try to lowball you lower than this and promise you the world, and they can't do it. I said,
there's another one right there.
Yeah, the begging aspect, right?
No, it's not begging. I understand what you were trying to do there, but it's another missed opportunity to show, to almost confirm that, hey, we're a local mom and pop, and we care about you. You want to talk to some friends? Absolutely. If you would like, I would love to sit down with you and your friends to really explain this, so that everybody that has a care for you and wants to ensure that you're making the right decision, that they're all informed.
That's really a good approach. I like that, of saying, bring them all in. Let's all sit down and let's do.
I do it all the time.
Yeah, okay, that's a good one. Yeah.
When I get somebody that's like, oh, this was pretty good information, let me let me chat with so and so. Let me talk to my business partner, or let me talk to my husband or my wife, or whatever the case. Awesome, John. If you don't mind, and if you guys want to do it, I would absolutely love to get the 3-4 of us. I even bring Roger in sometimes to that.
No, I like
if
that.
I see somebody's hesitant, I'll be like, hey,
if
you want, we can schedule another time. I'll even bring Roger into the meeting, and we can talk a little bit deeper and make sure that all the questions are answered. And it normally kills the whole, they're just out for, my business.
Yeah, I think she just wanted to get away, and she was afraid to say no, and she just said, I think about it. And that's how most people are.
That's the common, and that's why I love immediately identifying that, hold on a second, I need to stay here.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I like what we did. That's good.
I need to stay here, and I need to go into question mode. I'm not trying to pressure anymore. I want to start to uncover as much as I can. And he who is asking the questions stays in power.
Well, we have an electronic folder with everything, and we already figure out what levels of numbers we have and what the percentage profit is. We know where our low point is and where our back get up and walk away number is. We have those numbers, and we always start low and we work our way up very slowly, and we keep cutting back the amount we go up by half. That's our strategy. I honestly believe that I should have did a little more education mode, maybe go a little slower. And I love the idea of bringing all her friends together so we can have transparency. Yeah, this was a hard one because she didn't know what she wanted.
Yeah, a lot of people in the real estate space.
Well, you know what? Maybe I'll
Don't
have
know
a
what
good
they want.
success. I'll have a good success story for you next week when she kind of changes her mind.
No, totally. This is
We'll see.
a phenomenal one for follow-up.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Because you've built enough rapport and you've gotten to a deep enough level of relationship with somebody, right? You've spent time on the phone, you spend
Yeah.
time at the house, she's gone and met you for coffee and sat down and talked
Mhm.
through this. There is some level of trust.
Right. Sidebar. I walked into one of the rooms to take a picture, and the whole entire room was filled up with Star Wars paraphernalia. I mean, life-size Darth Vader, the Boba Fett, a foot high. I walked into the garage, all over the place. Her husband was one of these guys. It's stuff still in the plastic containers and everything.
I
And
instantly would have become like the largest Star Wars fan ever.
I was blown away, and I said, well, what are you doing? Well, I'm just packing it all up. No, don't, you've got to sell this stuff. You could probably buy another house. So when my son was with us yesterday, he knows someone that does this stuff, reselling. So we've left that on the table saying, no matter what, let us help you broker this for you, because this is a lot of money. I said, you can't just be putting this away. I was going to ask if she wanted to sell the Boba Fett one, but I thought I was taking advantage of the situation. Anyway, this was good. This was a good exercise. Thank you. I'm wondering what everybody else got out of this.
Great question. Marie, since you unmuted, start us off.
I'm only kidding. No, I feel bad because I missed the beginning because I literally like joined the Zoom and then I had to run to the bathroom. So that's why and my son's bringing me food. Anyway, what I was going to say hi, Sean.
Hi,
Remember
Sean.
Sean?
No, my hand is getting heavy.
No, bring that back downstairs.
I'm the random guy that sleeps in your house that you never
Yeah, he's
sleep.
the random guy that sleeps on this bed every once in a while. Anyway, what I was gonna bring up, why I unmuted, I can't remember the exact saying, but I know Pace has this saying that he talks about when he's talking with sellers on like something about changing their mind. Like you can't change their mind, but you have to like show them and let them give you the answers, right? So like, what do you think your property is worth? Like Sean was saying in the beginning about showing her the comps on the MLS, like obviously you're smart enough to show her those lower priced ARV comps, but it's still like, so where do you think it could be worth, and let her tell you rather than you telling her, even though you're showing her a picture and it might say right there, it's worth 150. If you say, so it's worth 150, she might be like, yeah, but she's still not saying in her brain, oh, it's only worth 150. Like you kind of have to ask them the right questions to get them to give you the answers you want, rather than kind of like pushing the information out there. So that was only my like one piece of advice in the beginning of just how are you wording those things and kind of thinking about how that conversation went.
No, that's good. Thank you.
When I trained like crazy with Blair Singer, this is what he used to say as a facilitator and a speaker in front of a room training. The information you say is great. People will get value out of it. They'll like it. But the information that the room shares is gold because it came from somebody other than you. They expect you at the front of the room to have good information and bring value. You guys expect to show up on the call and Sean be able to answer some things and provide some good value. But if Marie suddenly says something and you're like, ding, 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 light bulb moment, Marie is the god at that moment, right? Because holy crap, what she just said was amazing. So as a facilitator, it's my job to not say as much and instead get you guys to say the majority, right? Well, that's what sales is. The least amount that I can say and through asking of questions, get them to answer what I would have said to them already, supersedes anything I can ever say. Because now it's their word, not mine. That's why Sal, I said, and I'm using Sal, but that's why I'm talking to all of you guys. That's why in that moment when they go, I don't really know what it's worth. I don't know what I want. It's like immediate educate mode. And I want to ask questions and put things in front of and try to get them to agree with what my thoughts are without me saying my thoughts. I want to ask the questions, and this gets into stimulus response, right? How do I know what I want to be said? So I need to ask the question that gets what I want said. Because when I got them saying it, I've got their agreement. And when I've got their agreement, we're on the same page. I'm no longer an enemy. I'm no longer the bad guy. Because you and I both agree at this point. Now I can just break down facts. It's like the drawing I had up. When I get you, when I stay in posture long enough for you to admit you're drowning and need help, and you need me to throw this thing to you, you will now comply. You will do as I say because you need that, and you and I both agree that you need that, and I'm no longer the bad guy anymore, and you like me. So now you'll listen to me, right? And that's all sales is. John, what did you take from it?
I just was thinking about an illustration about, it's the same thing you were talking about. Is somebody's on the bus, you're driving the bus going to the destination, but they're in the back and you want them up close so you can talk to them. But you're still going to the destination you're driving to. It's just you got to get them to move closer to you. So that's what I get out of that, is you've got to keep building the rapport and just keep finding those little situations, because you got to solve their problem or they're not going to do business with you. So until you find the root cause of that, you're not going to get anywhere, and they're going to just bolt and shop it, right?
And I bet, Sal, there's something underlying that you're missing. And if you get this done, you'll find it. It'll come out.
Oh, I'm sure.
Through follow-up. If this moves along enough, you'll eventually discover, shoot, that's what it was way back then, that if we would have known that then, we could have gotten rid of all of this other time, right?
Well, like Liz said, it's not over.
No, it's not.
It's not over because the house is not sold. So we're still in the game, basically. We just have to play it right. And like you said, there's something else missing. There's a piece missing. And anyone that's done any negotiations or selling in front of a client, it's never perfect. And you walk out going, I think I left that out. This is our process now because it just happened a couple hours ago. So this is good for us.
Eileen, Chris, anything from either of you guys?
Yeah, the only thing else, I mean, so Sal, it's funny because I dealt with a seller about a year ago. It was almost the same situation. Her husband had just died. She was a hoarder and she had her walls up, and I went over there a couple times, and it just building the rapport, asking the questions. There was a comfort level that started to build, and we offered to not only take whatever she didn't want in the house and we would deal with it, but we even offered to move her to her new apartment. It just, yeah, I mean, it got to a point where there was a comfort level and a trust, and but it didn't happen right away. So to your point, you're not out of it by any means.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, no, I agree.
I think it would still be worth, maybe in a little while contacting her and telling her about the bringing other people in. I thought that was excellent as well. Make her more comfortable.
Yeah, we already put it in our lead vault process to follow up in 7 days, I think. And, I truly believed in this situation, we built enough rapport that, and we will continue to, that if she gets a sniff of something bad, she's going to call back.
Yeah. And it is very overwhelming to be in that grief state.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah. We've done this about 3 or 4 other times with people in the same boat. And,
Yeah.
you've just got to be sympathetic and nice and say, when you're ready,
Right.
we're here. And I think that, like Sean said, you can't look like the desperate person, and, I think it was my ego when she ghosted me yesterday. I went, what? She ghosted me. Why did she ghost me? you know, but this is all psychology, and this is what we have to do.
Now, here's where my marketing brain is going to come in. This is that, remember, I talk about this like crazy. Sales and marketing alignment, both support each other. Marketing helps sales close deals. Sales helps marketing drive opportunities. If you had, let me share the screen again. There it is. If you had a page on your website that was something like yourdomain.com / whatever the testimonial client name was, and they got to that page and there's a video, somebody that you've helped in the past, and under that video there's some details about the case study. All right, and if you had maybe 2 or 3 of these, where when she says, hey, I want to think about this, or I want to talk to so-and-so about this, and at a bare minimum, you at least just say, absolutely, Eileen, I completely understand. In the meantime, while you're thinking about it, head over to, matter of fact, here, I'll write it down for you, right? Head over to www.whatever your domain is.com / whatever, or go to ohanalegacyproperties.com, scroll down about a third of the way down the page and click on case studies and watch a couple of the videos and see how we've helped others just like you.
Right.
Because now when she goes and talks to other people, her friends, and her friends are like, oh, he's a real estate investor guy, one of them cash buyer people that we see. Yeah, all they want to do is rob. All they do is steal from you. But she's watched a video or 2, case study or 2 about stuff. Maybe she's like, well, I actually had a really good conversation with him. And there's this video, check out this video that's on his site. Look at what this other couple, this other individual that was kind of like me.
Interesting you said that, because the last conversation I had with Chris this afternoon was, okay, let's assume she sells the house. What can we get out of this? What else marketing wise can we, because we did treat her nice. We did treat her with respect. We were totally transparent and totally honest. We may not have gotten a deal, but can we still use that? And we're thinking about that. That's the last thing we talked about an hour and a half ago. And that still may come to fruition. We hope that we can get the house, but we're thinking of what can we salvage out of that,
In the meantime, I'd sit down and look at deals that you've done.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be the other person saying it. It could just be you on camera, or Chris on camera, or Marie on camera, or John on camera, right? Talking about 123 Main Street. And here was the situation. And if that person doesn't want their information out there, they don't feel comfortable having it, that's cool.
Just
I don't say Marie's
yeah.
name
Yeah.
as the owner of 123 Main Street. I just say we helped a individual who used to own 123 Main Street. And here was kind of the situation that this person was going through. Here's how we were able to step in. Here's what we did for them. Here's how we structured the offer with them. Here's how that benefited them. Here's the stress that we took away from them, right? Now, again, go back to what I just said a little bit ago. Me saying that on video would be great. Here. Let me do this. This is a case study from JP with Anchor Phone.
Is John Paul.
It's him saying it. I asked him the question. I was on the recording. I was asking John Paul Kildoff, the way he says it, but I was asking him like these questions. What led you to trust your decision in Top Results Consulting with your online marketing? And then he goes into his answer.
I would say that,
That's a good way. Yeah.
It's him answering
Yeah.
it though, right?
Yeah, that's a good approach.
Now, could I say, well, JP actually trusted us because he said this, and I kind of quote what JP's saying. Sure, that works, but it's way more valuable that JP's on this video, leaving the case study,
Gotcha.
right? Answering the
That makes
question.
sense. Yeah, no, makes sense. I like that.
Because when you get into a sales moment like you were just in, these are the tools, right, that marketing has in its tool belt to help sales move the sale along a little
It
bit
just
farther.
lends the credibility. I mean, that's what it does.
That's it.
Okay, good.
Chris shot a video about why he loves Dakine Botanicals and what it's done for him as a lifter, and how it's helped him on all the other medications and supplements and all the other crap that he used to take. Well, when we get somebody that's in that space that's like, I don't know, what do you think I send them? Send them the video that Chris did.
Hmm. He's still crazy.
Well, you can't fix everything.
Okay, granted.
Right? I could sit there and say, oh, well, I've got a buddy of mine that's actually a client of mine in my other business, that he's a big lifter too down there in Houston, and that he loves it. He raves about it all the time. Well, that's great. But when I can send him a video and it's actually Chris saying it, and they look at the
Yeah.
video and they can tell Chris is probably putting some weight up,
Very powerful. Yeah.
right? That moves it along a little bit farther. And that's marketing's job.
I like the idea of someone asking the question and then you have the person like JP, answering the question. It makes it a lot easier and it makes it go a lot smoother.
He and I jumped on a Zoom one day and I said, hey, I got about 6 questions to ask you. I'd ask the question, I'd stop for a second. I had his video pinned so that it was always him on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
I gave it a little bit of a break, and then I let him answer it. When he was done answering it, we let it break. This way I can send it over to Chamara, our video guy.
Right.
And I said, hey, put a bumper on this thing using his logo, put some title slides in there for the questions, and boom, there it is. And I think this whole video is like 6 minutes long.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I saw that. This was a great diagnosis of something that just happened. So it's cool.
Awesome. Well, with that, I'm going to